Let's get it. Today's live, guys. We are gonna discuss a very practical topic, and it's two mistakes I've done today in my trading. And I actually just finished my journaling, like I always telling to you about those two mistakes. I found out the lessons that I've taken from those mistakes, and I'm gonna share with you also the practical exercise I've done in order to switch my perspective and my vibration from those mistakes, so I can let them go and come back stronger together on trading. But before we get started, type me 222 in the chat box if you're watching this live, or 444 if you're watching the replay. Type me 2 if you're live, or 4 if you're on the replay. All right, so let's get started. First of all, the way that I started my journaling, it's always what I do. I analyze how I'm feeling. So the first thing that I've done today is I wrote down the emotions that I was feeling, and I was feeling so much stressed and sad, okay? And I unconsciously knew that it was because of the mistakes I've done on my trading, but I wanted to become aware of them so I can understand them and shift my perspective. So I wrote down the emotions, and then I wrote down the thoughts that I had about those emotions. And once I wrote down those thoughts, I tried to see those mistakes that I've done from a different point of view, so I don't self-punish myself. For example, I wrote here, okay, so you did two mistakes, but with one trade tomorrow, you can cover those two mistakes plus a 5% profit. So this was one of the positive thoughts that I wrote down in order to switch my perspective. Then I also wrote the positive thing that you did proper risk management, because one of the two mistakes that I've done, it was wrong trade management. Because one of the mistakes is I was 1 to 3 risk to reward profit, but I didn't move break even. So eventually from 1 to 3, oh my God, 1 second. Oh, okay. So I had my alarm going off now. I forgot to turn it off. Anyway, so as I was saying, one of the two mistakes that I've done is I did wrong trade management. So I was like, okay, I managed my trade wrong. It should have been a break even, but it eventually ended up a stop loss. But I did proper risk management. So I wrote it down. Also, I did another 2 hours of back testing today. So I wrote that down so I could shift my perspective on the positives on what I've accomplished today, even though I've done the mistakes. And then the third step that I've done is I wrote down a list of affirmations about me. Okay, so I wrote down I am a profitable trader, I'm a disciplined trader, I always wait the market to get to my areas in order to enter the trade, I always find the proper trades based on my plan, I always enter trades only when I run through my whole checklist, I have an amazing experience with trading, I find the ideal setups, I attract money to myself, I am a money magnet, I attract and produce money so easily. I always look the market with objective way, respect, peace, and happiness. And every week I close with profit. So, and actually, you know, my hair in my hand, you can see it's coming up. Why? Because from the one moment that I was feeling stressed and sad, I've managed to switch the way that I was feeling and also learn what I did wrong with those 3 steps. And then number 4, I clearly wrote down the lessons that I took today. Lesson number 1, when you are 1 to 2 and 1 to 3 risk to reward, always move break even. Lesson number 2, always wait the market to come to your supply and demands before entering. So those 2 were some really big lessons for me. I also wrote lesson number 3, always run the whole checklist of your strategy before entering a trade. If you feel the emotion that I have to rush to enter the trade, do not enter. Because what I realized, whenever I rush to enter a trade, I always lose the trade. And the last but not least, okay, this is a technical one, is always be mindful of supply and demands on 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 4 minute time frames. So these were the the lessons that I've done, and also the way that I managed to switch my perspective in order to be able to close the day with an emotion of calmness and peace. I learned the mistakes that I've done from the trades that I've done today, so I can come tomorrow better, stronger, and in a calm and peaceful state of mind to trade the markets today. So type me 333 in the chat if you got value from this live today. Let me know what you've learned, and let me know, are you also struggling with waiting the market to come to your supply and demands areas? Are you sometimes rushing to enter a trade, or maybe are you wrongly managing some trades which eventually end up to stop losses instead of break evens? Let me know. Let's grow together, because what I realized in the end of the day, a profitable and a professional trader is not somebody who doesn't make mistakes, it's not somebody who doesn't lose, but it's somebody who learns from the mistakes that they do and they do not repeat them. Guys, thank you so much. God bless you. I hope you got value from this live today. Hit the follow button, or if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. God bless you. Good night, and see you again.